Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more 9-Rip, continuing Koharu's route. Probably, question mark, going to get our end today, I would assume, because we're in Chapter 8, which is the last chapter. I think we've made our last choice, so, I figured this would kind of come to the end, but we'll see. Right, we're in Koharu's perspective. As we made our way back to the train, I made sure Spacey sat down. After a while, she began to nod off, likely due to staying up so late last night. And some of us just are tired recently, okay? God. Spacey, you can lean on me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try to stay awake. Don't worry about me. She was clearly struggling to keep her eyes open. Now, a cute little CG of us resting on him would be adorable. Gently, I placed my hand on Spacey's head and guided her to rest on my shoulder. I know you didn't get much sleep last night. Just shut up and go to sleep. That's an order. In that case, I guess I have no choice. Slowly, Spacey closed her eyes. An order, huh? This might be the last time I get to use that line. Once we were back in Narimigahama, I'd have the chance to lift the spell. After that, I'll find a random way to haunt her, and that'll be that. No big deal. Loneliness was not a new emotion for me. The goodbye would just be like the countless others I'd experienced. Or at least that's what I kept telling myself. Otherwise I'll end up betraying my clan and breaking a taboo. I considered it, but dismissed the thought quickly. I took Spacey's hand. What's more important, your clan or your potential girlfriend that you just met like 2 days ago? I mean, when you put it that way, it's like, you're like, it's probably not a good idea to chuck away your whole entire family for some bitch you just met 5 days ago, but, it's an Otome game, so, fuck your family. If only I could stay until she finds her way. I should be allowed to do that much. Despite agonizing over how weak I was, I moved closer to Spacey. What if I never find my way? Then you're here forever. Oh, no. I was like, ooh, are we going to get the CG I wanted? No. Whatever. Thank you for today, Koharu. I had a great time. Upon reaching the station, I thanked Koharu and he responded with a subtle nod. Shall we head home then? As we began to walk, Koharu was the one to take my hand first, making my heart flutter. How about we take a little detour towards the beach? Koharu's invitation for a walk caught me off guard, but I immediately smiled and accepted. Getting to spend this time with you, it almost feels too good to be true. Too good to be true? That's quite an exaggeration. Besides, you'll be waking up soon anyway. Huh? But I am awake. I did fall asleep on the train. Does he think I'm still groggy or something? He means waking up from the spell. I found his choice of words odd, but not wanting to dwell on it, I changed the topic. As we walked, the conversation turned to our normal, casual, everyday chatter. We shared laughs and expressed mild surprise. We also nodded along with each other. It was familiar, yet Koharu seemed distant. By the time we reached the beach, my head was brimming with questions. What's going on, Koharu? You seem different. Unable to pinpoint exactly what was off, I asked. He seemed to be expecting my question. He looked completely unfazed, which only made me even more anxious. Koharu sighed softly, then looked me directly in the eyes. I'm gonna lift this spell now. So it's finally time. I felt my body tense up, my spine instinctively straightening. I've looked into many options, but all of them come with heavy burdens for you. Yes, you'd mentioned that before. So, what are you going to do? Koharu looked away awkwardly. His cheeks were red, though that could have just been the color of the setting sun on his face. I can read. We know I can't. A kiss. I told you! I told you as soon as he's like, no, I can't do that first thing. And it's like, he's going to have to kiss me. That's exactly what it is. That was so obvious. He said the word softly. Excuse me? I thought I heard what he said, but I wanted to be sure. I said, it's with a kiss. Apparently, that's how you remove the curse. My face instantly heated up. I opened and closed my mouth like a fish on land, totally speechless. I'm really sorry, but this is the only way. It was either that or we get married. The others, I don't even want to mention. Us doing little fox thing wasn't us getting married? I see. So that's why Koharu was researching this for so long. Okay, I get it. The kiss, because usually, okay, in fantasy stories and whatever, a kiss breaks all spells. It's true love's kiss and whatever. And I could see in this one why, because I put this spell on you so you're in love with me. So the way to break that is to kiss you, because then you'd realize, whoa, 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 this is not the kiss of my true love. And then that would break the spell. You know what I mean? Like most kisses in fairy tales is like, the kiss of true love will wake Snow White from death. Oh, that apple that was just lodged in her throat and she hasn't been breathing for a week. It's like, no, she's totes fine. Don't worry about it. So like, you could see that where they're going. Like, okay, I can see the parallel and how that makes sense in a fantasy fairy tale kind of way. Sure. But why getting married? Is that because it's like, well, if we don't kiss, then we got to get married and that'll break the spell. But then you're mine anyway. So like, what? That's kind of interesting. I'm just kind of curious how that works. Because again, I see the logic behind the kiss. You kiss, it'll break the spell, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, no, my feelings for you were because of that. Cool. You know what I mean? Because kisses break spells. Sure. And in this one, it's not just like, oh, my true love. You're like, whoa, you're not my true love. How dare you kiss me? Right? So it would break that illusion that you're in love with him. Sure. But how does getting married break the spell? And wouldn't that be kind of like, we get married, it breaks the spell, and then you realize you hate me and you're stuck with me forever? That sounds not good. I mean, I guess in the sense of the fox story for that fairy tale, I mean, it makes no sense in the logic of reality. Well, where we live now in this game. So not really reality, but the fantasy reality. But it makes sense for the fox's tale because the whole thing was the fox's bride, like she went off to do whatever those tasks were. I forget now what it was, and then fell in love with a human, was like, nah, I'm not coming back. And he was like, all right, so now we've got this thing. I'm going to bind you basically to me. You're going to go do whatever task, come back and be like, yep. And then we get married the way we should have been, and it's more like an arranged marriage, so love doesn't really play into it, if you think about it. You know what I mean? This is not like a fox lady coming up and being like, hey, you're a honey. But like voluntarily, I don't remember if the vixen in that story was like, it was just like, yep, this one, she's the best for you. She's going to go off, and then she betrayed him by falling in love with someone else. But again, it seemed more like an it's arranged marriage thing, like a royalty thing where you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to marry this fox. Okay, cool. I'm going to go do these tasks to prove I'm worthy, where then you get married. And then if the spell breaks, it's like, whatever. Cause like you're in no different position than you were before they put the spell on you. Cause you might not have been in love with him before they put the spell on you. You're going to go do what you need to do and come back. That's the whole point. So for the story of the fox, absolutely the marriage thing makes sense. So never mind, I take that back. It's weird when you look at it in this perspective for us here, like, wait a minute. But yeah, again, the situation, the reason for the spell and the story of the fox makes perfect sense. So anyway, I see. So that's why Koharu was researching this for so long. I mean, you've only fallen for me because of the spell. I didn't want to place that burden on you. I don't mind at all. I spoke with a smile, but it was only half true. What if my feelings for Koharu were fake? Oh, real little CG flashbacks. The comfort I feel by his side. The satisfaction I feel when I see him blush. It's kind of hard to relay that one when it's black and white, but the elation when he calls my smile cute. Were all those emotions a lie? That's what truly scared me. Yet part of me held out hope. If my feelings for him were genuine, then perhaps he would believe me. I'm really kind of curious how they're going to do this. Because, like, we have to romance the man, and we have been kind of, but, like, if he kisses us and then we're like, yeah, no, you're right, my feelings weren't real. That would really put a damper on this. And there's only one bad ending, because there's only 2 save points, so the bad ending is touching the mirror and Hibiki probably eats us. So, like, kind of fucked up. And so the good endings have to be that we realize our feelings are true, but there's a part of you that even though you know that is like, yeah, but I'm a little nervous about it still. What the fuck? Like, guys. Oh my god. That's good gaming, good writing. It's just good writing, I guess. Because in general, you could apply that to so many other things when you're like, I know that they're not going to do XYZ, but I'm still concerned they're going to do XYZ because they're leading, like, the tension's good enough where you're, like, still a little concerned. Like, there's no fucking way they're going to have us be like, okay, bye, and we're just pals. What the fuck? That would be so... You'd be so mad if you played an Otome game and that was the ending. We just got the friend ending? What the fuck? I mean, that would be like the okay ending where you're like, okay, I can see we're just friends. We haven't quite breached our romance and we're going to continue on from there. But the way this game has been, we have we are fully in love with them, 2 different good endings where we're in love. And it's just your perspective on which one is the better ending for you personally, you know? So there's no way they would do one of them where you're like, okay, we're just pals. What the fuck is that? I would feel cheated, okay? But it's still good that you're making me a little tense. Like, you know what? I'm still a little tense about it. Like, I know you're not going to do it, but I'm kind of concerned you might. Like, that's how I felt watching Squid Game Season 2. You're like, I know they're not going to kill Keelan. They're not going to kill him, but you're like, but they might. But you were worried the whole time. You're like, I know they're not going to kill him, but at the same time, I'm still tense. Also, you're tense for every other fucking character because you're like, I know what they did in Season 1. I know what they did in Season 1. I don't trust anything right now. You know? But, like, God, they made a lot more. They made some really good new likable characters. And, like, they give you hope in Season 2 that, like, some of those characters are going to come out of it. Especially because Season 2, spoilers, ends on a cliffhanger. That's not really a spoiler, but it's like, it just ends on a cliffhanger and you're like, what the fuck? I think Season 3 is coming out this year, though, so I think they filmed it all together, you know what I mean? Because you're like, how? I was thinking it's a full season, like, whatever, and I was like, getting to the last episode, I'm like, how the hell is this gonna and then it just ends and you're like, how dare you? That's genius. I hate you, but I love it, you know? Anyway. Oh. We're going to get spoiled this year from all the Otome games coming out. Squid Game Season 3 is coming out. Alice in Borderland Season 3 is coming out. Supposedly this year. There's a lot of shit coming out this year. Like, good for us. We need it, because everything else is falling fucking apart. But anyway. Connor then took a hold of my shoulders. His expression tense, his posture nervous. I'm a little nervous too. Listen to me carefully, Spacey. I nodded nervously. Once the spell is lifted, I want you to push me away. What? I'm sure you'll be upset, so don't hold back. Push me as if you're throwing me into the ocean. His suggestion caught me off guard. You know what? He's going to kiss her, and as soon as the spell's broke, she's going to grab him and pull him in closer. It was an awkward and harsh request. We're getting a CG of this. You know we have to. It seemed he truly doubted the feelings I had for him. His lack of trust is really starting to annoy me. But I knew his desperation to break the spell was for my sake. Despite my fears, I can't wait any longer. I grabbed Koharu's clothes with both hands and pulled him close. I love the fact that she is kissing him. Like, look how shocked he is. This is so adorable. She's like, I will kiss you. Just shut up and kiss me already. How fucking cute. He's got her shoulders and she just hands on his collar. I love it. Good job, girl. As we get, I don't think... There might have been moments where I'm like, girl, that was a stupid decision. But, like, everybody makes dumb decisions. But for the most part, I feel like she just gets better as we go. Like, damn, The ball's on you. Bravo. Like, that's right. Make him kiss you. You're like, just shut up and kiss me already. Good job. Like, shit. I think she's one of my favorites. Like, she's been really good through this whole game. Our lips met in a sudden clash. Rather than just the sensation of the kiss, I felt something deeper stirring within me. It was the affection I held for Koharu. My true emotions were flooding back to me. Ah, I understand now. All my anxiety melted away, and what remained was the love I had for him. I was overwhelmed with relief, joy, and the comforting rhythm of my heartbeat. Look at his little face. Look at his little thing! I love it when they give them a little pointy tooth. Oh, I still love you, Koharu. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Koharu said nothing. He just stared at me, bewildered. Although I was disappointed by his reaction, I felt slightly refreshed. It's because he's stunned. Look at him, the man. He's like, the fuck just happened? He's still processing. Sorry for being so sudden. It might be strange, but I was just so happy. What a relief. I'm so glad my feelings for you are real. After murmuring to myself, I tried to pull away from him, but he tightened his grip on my shoulder. Oh, good, are you going to kiss me again? Oh, he zoomed in. Oh, I'm sorry, Spacey. Huh? Before I can even express my surprise, Koharu pulled me close. Oh, then we got a sweet kiss, not a little shock one, but it's still cute. Our second kiss unfolded unexpectedly. Despite his forceful pull bringing us together, our kiss was gentle and tender. No way. Oh. The warmth from Koharu's lips was something unlike anything I'd ever felt before. There's something about that sentence that just comes off so awkwardly. The warmth was something unlike anything I'd ever felt before. I mean, it makes sense, but it also sounds awkward. It's like, it's unlike anything I'd ever felt before, but it was something unlike anything. That's a lot. Just throws you off. You're like, that was wordy. My mind went blank and my body swayed. I say this as somebody who, takes 3 hours to get to a tiny point. Without words, our touch conveyed everything. He feels the same way. Slowly, we drew apart and gazed into each other's eyes. Our faces were so close. I could feel his breath on my lips. My heart pounded, and I doubted it would slow down anytime soon. Why did you apologize? Because I can't give you the normal life you deserve. Oh, it's important. But my life isn't normal already, right? You're like, who wants normal? That sounds boring. My only wish is to be by your side. Suddenly, he hugged me tightly, and I buried my face into his chest. Koharu, that's too tight. Upon hearing my voice, he quickly let go, and I took a relieved breath. Sorry. You're just so cute, I couldn't help it. Cute? It's been so long. I hadn't heard such words from him in some time, and it had a huge impact on me. But those words weren't exactly what I wanted to hear. Koharu, you love me, right? Why are you asking that now? Because I want to hear it. I want you to tell me. Koharu coughed nervously, then... It seems like I love you too. What do you mean, seems like? Just accept that for now. I'll say it properly eventually. I love that he's a little awkward. It's kind of sweet. All right. I didn't know what would happen next, but knowing he was by my side alleviated all my fear. I didn't have to be afraid of spells anymore. Feeling happy, I held hands with Koharu and we went back home. As we arrived home, Koharu changed into his spirit form and came into my room. He said he had something important to discuss with me. What did you want to talk about? I wonder if it's about the curse. I want to talk to you about what's to come. But before that, I don't want you to be confused, so there's something I need to say. Koharu's expression shifted into a serious one. What I'm about to tell you, it's a decision I made because I want to be with you.
I don't want you to feel lonely, and I don't want to think of a future without you by my side. In other words, I'm being selfish.
Okay. Of course I felt the same way as him, so I didn't know why he said he was being selfish. What's he gonna suggest? Koharu let out a sigh and nervously continued.
Remember in the fox's wedding story about the female fox and the mortal man?
Yeah, I remember the gist of it. They eloped, right? The moment I answered, I felt nervous, realizing our situation was similar to the one in the story.
Currently, we don't cast spells like that, but everyone in the clan knows that story. It's a kind of lesson that's been passed on. The one sent to trick the mortal is instead tricked by them and is seen as a traitor. I don't have any intentions of eloping with you.
Wow, ouch! I mean, I get what he means, but it's.
But I do need to talk with the clan about how I can live with you.
But if you tell them about it, what's gonna happen to you?
Based on all the stories I've heard so far, the female fox is always seen as a traitor. In other words, there's no precedent for this.
So, you don't know what's gonna happen. Koharu nodded, but laughed.
Don't worry. No matter what happens, I promise I'll come back.
He said that, but I felt no reassurance, only fear. If something were to happen to Koharu, there must be some other way. The other way is gonna be he stays a spirit board and we have to do spirit and then take our fan and then he has to, well, I gotta haunt you now. And then we're gonna have to keep doing that. That's the other way. All I could think was, oh, what if you just never haunted me? Then we could stay together, right?
That won't work for long. Eventually my clan will catch on. I considered haunting you by staying with you, but that wouldn't work either. I want to be with you, and I don't want to have to worry about anybody else.
I feel the same, but
I understand you're worried about me, but remember I told you in the beginning, this is me being selfish.
right.
Will you allow my selfishness?
When he put it that way, what could I say to him? Fucking of course, because your selfishness benefits me. Koharu knew how I would react, which is why he gave me this warning. Okay. I agreed, and Koharu let out a small sigh. I mean, I get it, though. She's like, but what? Something bad could happen to you when you go tell your clan, and I'm trying to find a way so that you don't get in trouble, but...
Then all that's left is this.
As soon as he said that, I couldn't believe what he did next. He made the sign of the fox with his hand. What are you doing? That action alone brought back some traumatic feelings, and I couldn't help but feel guarded.
Don't worry. I'm the one doing it this time. I will return to you. After this, I'm leaving, and I have no idea when I can return next. That's why I'm gonna leave my heart here with you.
Aww. But what if you get sick like I did when we're separated?
Our feelings are mutual. I put my trust in you, so I won't feel any symptoms.
I don't want to think of it as a spell.
Think of it as a symbol that I'll return. It's better than just a verbal promise, right?
Ah. That was when I finally realized he was doing the spell for my sake, to put me at ease. He would be the one to get sick, and yet he was still worrying about me. I suppressed my emotions and took a step closer to him. We're doing the little fox thing again. I followed his actions and made the fox symbol. Koharu seemed to have been waiting for me to do so, and then he spoke. This is basically the same CG we got before.
I leave my thoughts here. My feelings for you cannot be forgotten.
Oh, our little fox hands are kissing. Koharu moved his hand towards mine, and our foxes touched, thus completing the spell.
When the curse is lifted next time, that's when our story truly begins.
I nodded and looked up. Then I smiled at him, the same smile he claimed was cute. I'll be waiting for you. No matter how much time passes, I'll always be thinking of you.
Got it. That's a promise.
You know it's going to be a couple weeks or months or something. It's not going to be years, but... And just as he said he would, Koharu immediately set out. I stood there in a daze and tried to figure out what to do next. After I finished changing, I went down to the kitchen. When Koharu returned, I wanted to be sure he could try some homemade cookies, so I'm going to bake cookies every fucking day. I'm going to make something so delicious that he won't have to teach me. I got started and... I was going to say, where's Yukimaro? Sniff, sniff, sniff. I don't doubt he said sniff, but he made a sniffy noise. What is this amazing scent? It calls me. Oh, hi, Yukimaro. I was baking some cookies just now. I'll let you know what... Gah, I'm so excited. Toga was just telling me you got to try your cookies first, Master. Finally, it's my turn. I see. Hang in there. They'll be ready soon. Come to think of it, I should tell him about the spell being lifted. Yukimaro, about the spell. We were safely able to lift it. Wow, that's great to hear. Ah, I see. Koharu's made his decision then. What decision? He's been worried you'd feel uneasy about it all. The kiss, that is. You knew about that? Obviously. I've been deeply concerned for you, Master. I wanted to know everything. I see. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. I'm sorry, it's just that the solution was embarrassing. I bowed in apology and looked up to find Yukimaro wearing a mysterious smile. So, Master, where does your heart lie? Do I really need to tell him? My feelings haven't changed. That's wonderful to hear. So you and Koharu are official then. Though happy, I found it hard to shake off my embarrassment. No wonder Koharu's not here then. He seems quite serious, choosing you like that, Master. Yukimaro, do you know anything about Koharu's clan? Only that they have very strict rules, but that's fairly common among spirit clans. Even in organizations that aren't clans. For example, the association I belong to has them, but ours are just common sense. Oh, and what would be common sense for spirits? One should not interfere with humans unnecessarily. Huh. But then how could you and Koharu do your jobs? Of course it's okay for us to interfere for those reasons, but more than that would be considered a bad thing. It's not as though there are explicit punishments, but it's kind of an unwritten rule. Aren't there things like that in the mortal realm? Acting against common sense, while it might not be a crime, could get you ostracized. Humans have things like that too. Could it be that he's going to lose his job? Seeing Yukimaro nod, my blood ran cold. Koharu's clan certainly did seem strict. He can find another job. Oh, boo! He's not going to be allowed to be a spirit board anymore. That's okay. Does that mean they're going to be like, you're no longer a spirit, now you're just a dirty human? Okay, works for us. I mean, it would be a shock if you were a spirit and you were like everlasting and you had like unlimited lifespan and whatever to all of a sudden be like booted and have to be a schmucky human. But, you know, that's the choice you made. It's not like you it was a punishment. You made this choice. You knew what was going to happen and you were like, I'm willingly choosing this. So, did I ask for too much? Something that would make him betray his clan? I was filled with a very bad feeling. I mean, again, it would still suck. You're like, I'm going against everything in order to go do this. But again, he's making that choice. It's not like he was like, yeah, I was flirting with some girl, gave her a kiss, and then his clan was like, no! And they kicked him out, and he was like, no, 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 no. You know what I mean? He's like, I am willingly choosing to be with her. Type of a thing. So, I mean, yes, it'd be difficult if you were like, I want both. In this case, you can't have both, but. Do you want some of column A or all of column B? You don't get to do both. This is not the genie from Aladdin, okay? I was filled with a very bad feeling. They bring this drama up, but it's like we're getting to the end, so there can't be too much drama. However, all I could do was wait for Koharu to return. Despite my brooding, Yukimaro pushed me to focus on my future career path. I went to visit schools and started working part-time at the local cafe. Yukimaro worried that because he had helped me find my path, he'd be released from his duties as my guardian spirit, but that wasn't the case. Probably because I was still so worried about Koharu. Well, that's cute. We get to keep Yukimaro, because it'd be sad if he was gone too. Then, a few days later... Please let Koharu come back safe. All I could do was pray. If something were to happen to him... If I knew this was going to happen, I would have never told him my feelings. Yes, you would have. Tears clouded my vision. But then... A large gust of wind blew through the shrine. In the wind, I thought I heard something and looked up at the sky. Was it just my imagination? Several more days passed, and I found myself baking cookies yet again. I wondered how many batches I'd made. The oven's timer chimed, and I rushed into the kitchen. I took them out of the oven, and the sweet, savory scent wafted through the air. Looks like they came out good this time, too. I placed the freshly baked cookies on the kitchen counter and gazed at them blankly. Sweets. Sweets always used to make me smile, but tears began to fall from my eyes, drop by drop. Now I feel like the only thing that can make me smile is...
Why are you making that face?
You knew it was going to be him. Seeing him had me tongue-tied. Koharu walked over to me and picked up a cookie, popping it into his mouth. He chewed and swallowed the cookie before flashing me a smile. Could you... The audacity of this man, though! You gotta love it. Like, you're like being sad because you miss him, and he's just like, why are you making that face? And he's like eating a cookie, and you're like... As you're just staring at him blankly, like, not even a hello? I missed you? Nothing? You're just gonna fucking insult me and eat a cookie? The fuck, man? The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch. Damn. I love it. It's hilarious.
Are you sure you even still need my help?
I grabbed the front of his clothes with both my hands and eagerly peered into his eye. Welcome back. They were the words I'd longed to say to him. As he saw me speak through tears, Koharu's smile turned a little bitter.
Sorry for being late.
As I shook my head from side to side, Koharu gazed back at me, his smile softening. Koharu's the source of my smile.
I'm home, Spacey.
I wanted to stare at his smile forever. I didn't want to be parted for even a moment. I wanted to stay together forever with him. Did I like the end? But, like, what happens? Like, what actually happened? That was the end. Okay. Well, we get an after bit, but... Okay. But it's like, he's home. Okay. But, like, what happened? And you're still in your spirit form, so... After that, Koharu seemed very tired, and he collapsed on the spot as though he'd passed out. Thankfully, Yukimaru swiftly came and carried him away. Figuring he needed to rest for the night, my reunion with Koharu was cut short. Yukimaru told me not to worry. But I barely slept. Since I didn't have school or my part-time job for the day, I waited in my room for Koharu to wake up. I just can't bring myself to focus on anything else. Then I heard a knock at the door and quickly bolted up to open it. I figured it would be faster than simply responding. Waiting for me on the other side was Koharu. After letting him into the room, I let out a sigh of relief. I'm so glad you're all right. I was so worried after you collapsed.
I'm sorry for making you worry. I should have rested before coming back.
Does that mean he hurried back to see me? How romantic. How about something to eat? Or drink? Anything you need, I'll go get it. Wanting to alleviate his fatigue, I was about to leave the room when...
Nah, I'm fine. More than anything else, I want to talk.
Of course, I wanted to hear about what happened, but I'm so nervous. I nodded slowly, and after some time, Koharu began to speak.
The short of it is, my clan won't accept you. There's no point in lying, so I might as well just tell you. I was captured by the people in my clan. They cast various spells on me. Spells to make me give up on you. Spells to make me forget you. Dozens, hundreds, maybe.
But then, Koharu, you...
It's fine. Nothing has changed. It's all thanks to how strongly I feel about you.
How romantic. Despite the seriousness of the moment, after hearing that, I couldn't stop my smile. And yet, if they didn't approve of our relationship, does that mean we have to be apart?
Not exactly. I'm going to be expelled from the clan.
What?
They think I betrayed them by being with you. And because the spell didn't work, they see that... The spells didn't work. They see that as the only punishment.
No, I never meant for him to be kicked out of his clan. When Yukimaro first told me about the rules of the spirit realm, I was worried about Koharu's life. I was relieved that he was safe, but this was still a lot to take in. This is all my fault. It's modern times, clan. Get with it. Okay? It's a little... I don't... The difference... What is, like, you beingist? Like... Is it racist? Like, is that... I mean... You're like, oh, you can't marry outside your clan. You're a clan of spirits. You can't marry if they're not another spirit. That's, come on. It's not really classist because it's not a different class. And we're different beings. It's not really a different race. Does that count as a different race? I don't know, but it's some kind of ist. It's some kind of like speciesist or something. I don't know what you call it, but that's really ist. It's an ist and it's a bad one. You're not allowed to do that. It's modern times. Get with the times. People can marry other beings, okay? If people can pretend they're trees and live like a tree, then people like, okay, well, that's extreme. You'd probably die if you tried to live like a tree, but, whatever. Listen, if you want to dye your hair green and wear nothing but brown, then you kind of look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in a way. But, like, whatever. I'm just saying it's rude. Get with the times. People marry people from other different countries and shit like that. So, like, if I want to marry an alien, if there were such things as aliens, I should be able to do that. So, like, these spirits shouldn't be whatever ist they are that says that spirits can't marry humans. So, like, fuck them, okay? Like, get with the modern times. It's not 1604 anymore. They're probably, like, even older than that. But this is all my fault. I'm so sorry. I'd only considered my own feelings and not what could happen to him. Again, this is about the only thing, like, oh my god, this is all my fault. Did you ever think he has his own agency, girl? Boop, shut up. He made this choice on his own. I understand her feeling guilty, like, oh my god, like, I feel really bad. Like, you empathize with him and you feel bad, but he made this choice. Simmer down, girl. You're taking his agency away from him here. If I hadn't told you how I felt back then... If only I had thought more deeply about the different worlds we lived in. No, it's okay. My heart filled with regret as I thought back on all those what-ifs. But here's the thing. You lived your truth and you told him how you felt. He could have been like, yeah, I love you too, but it's never going to work, so I got to go back to my clan. Peace out, girlfriend. And he could have left. He made the choice. You have to respect his choice. But I get it. But like, you know what I mean? They don't need to... They do this a lot in games, I think. Where they do this, like, oh my god, it's my fault, oh my god, I did this to him, and it's like, first of all, it's not the woman's fault for everything, let's simmer down with that bullshit, but it's actually very true to being a woman, where you just feel like everything's your fault, and you feel guilty, and then you're like, well, that's just because the patriarchy has made me feel this way about everything, like, it's always your fault. Why did you do that? Why did you let your husband cheat? Like, what did you do wrong that your husband cheated on you? Excuse me? I didn't do fucking jack shit wrong. He's a scumbag. You know what I mean? But it's somehow you as a woman failed. And it's like, none of that shit. But, like, I kind of wish they would take it out of Otome games where we just have this deep-seated, it's all my fault. No. Because it's also then taking away another human being's agency and power over themselves to be like, it's all my fault that they made a choice. No, they made a choice. They are responsible for the choices they make. Let them take accountability and responsibility, because that's what people should be doing. And we try to, people don't, first of all, try to take responsibility, and we try to, no, my child is not responsible. Like, perfect example, my nephew got into a car accident. He's fine. He was parked. He was parked picking up my niece, okay? And this other girl backed up into the car. So she just backed out of her spot and hit him. Okay? So it's just a minor thing, but the mirror broke off the car, whatever. So my sister shows up and, the girl's mom shows up. And my sister was going to be like, don't worry about it. We'll get the mirror. Like, not a big deal, whatever. Because, it's just a teenage girl. She was driving this big fucking vehicle. My sister's just a tiny little girl. So I was like, whatever, And it's like, shit happens, okay? Nobody was hurt, like, whatever. But the mother was like, my daughter didn't do this. It's not her fault. She didn't do this. Right there, Right there, you're being a cunt. Your daughter took responsibility for herself. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, like whatever. She knew it was her fault. The mother's trying to do, and it's like you're raising your children to think that nothing is their fault that that tree jumped out in front of them. The tree didn't jump out in front of you. You're a dumbass and you hit a tree. Okay? Like, take responsibility. You know? And sometimes it's a matter of, like, when you're driving in the snow, oh my God, it was really snowy and I couldn't see the side of the road and that's why I hit the car. Yeah, there's extenuating circumstances, but, like, the guardrail, the tree, the other car did not jump out in front. Sometimes the car did jump out in front of you, okay? But, like, in this case, my nephew did not, like, parked, slide sideways into the back of her car. It's clearly evident that this girl backed into him. But the mother and even the father were adamant that their daughter didn't do anything wrong. And it's like, but that's the shit. You're raising kids to be they're not responsible for their actions. And that's bullshit. Be responsible for your actions. So this right here is her like, I'm responsible for his actions. No, no. Let him be responsible for his own actions. He's a grown-ass man. But also stop blaming yourself for everybody else's choices in life, you know? Let's not keep perpetuating this. I mean, I get what they're trying to convey, but it just kind of tweaks me a little, like, when she'll be like, oh my God, oh my God, I feel really guilty. I feel really bad that he did this and this is happening and whatever. Sure, fine, I get you. But then she keeps going about how it's all her fault. It's all her fault. Oh my God, this is all her. No. I'm going to need you to stop. You can feel bad and awful, like, oh my God, I told him I love him, and then this is the cat. Maybe if I not said anything, but I wanted to express my feelings, like, take responsibility for what you did. I told him my feelings. What if I hadn't? But I needed to tell him, and like, oh my God, like, what? I wish there was a different way. I wish this hadn't worked out this way. You can feel bad for what's happening to him, but it's not your fault. Okay? Did you force the man to be in love with you? No. Did you force him? You're like, you're going to tell your clan that we're together and fuck them. No. So, like, simmer down with the constant blaming of yourself. I think it's just because they go on to, like me right now. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's not the, oh my God, I feel really bad. It's the, it's all my fault. It's all my fault for like 3 hours. And it's like, stop it. Stop it. Not the right message to send. I don't know why it's annoying me today, but it is. Anyway. Regrets about what ifs. Ugh. Typical of you to think like that, but the regret belongs with me, not with you. See? He's responsible for his own actions. I was misled by the ritual. I didn't believe what you were feeling was real. But that can't be helped. It can't be helped my ass. If I wanted a future with you, I should have made up my mind and not worried about the stupid rituals. I should have just told you how I felt first. See? What? First? Gallardo's gaze drifted to the bed behind me. In this room, you confessed your feelings to me. At that time, I couldn't give an answer because I'd fallen for you long before that. Aww. Gallardo's hand reached out toward me. Hey, I'm sorry for being so selfish, but can you pretend like you never confessed to me? With those words, Gallardo pulled me into his arms. CG time. Dear God, it's beautiful. Our faces were so close, I could feel his breath on my lips. His eyes captured mine, and I was unable to look away from him. His eyes? His eye. She did it earlier. I looked into his eye, and I was like, good for you. Good for you! But this time she said plural. Okay. Bad for you. Look at how beautiful that CG is. Spacey, I love you. The words he had been too embarrassed to say before. He'd showed me his blushing face. He'd made my heart flutter so many times, but none compared to the way I felt about him at that moment. If you want me, I'll be with you forever. Why would you say no to that? As a human and as a spirit, even if we live in different worlds, as long as we have love, we'll be all right. So, will you accept my love? My heart was beating so fast I couldn't find the words to speak right away. Ever since I'd heard about his clan, my heart had been filled with nothing but regret. Yet hearing him talk like that now... I took a deep breath and stared back at him. Then, of course, I love you too, Koharu. It didn't matter who confessed first. Our feelings were the same, and so sooner or later, this was bound to happen. Thank you, Spacey.
And this is our new beginning.
His face moved closer, and I closed my eyes. Aww. As I received his gentle kiss, I gave him all my heart again and again. All the events that led up to that moment replayed in my mind. At first, I was scared. Yeah, scared and intimidated by him. But the more I got to know him, the more I saw the warmth of his heart. Meeting Koharu has made me truly happy. I'm so glad I fell in love with him. I believed those words from the bottom of my heart. I knew that we would face many challenges from here on out, but I also knew that, with him by my side, we could get through anything together.
I'll make you happy. That's a promise.
And I'll make you happy, Koharu. That's a promise, too. And so, the two of us raced toward a happy future together. Heavenly End, our beginning. So it's interesting, though, he basically kind of got kicked out of his clan and got removed from being a spirit board. I'm assuming they didn't particularly say that. Hold on. Toga's route's been unlocked, bitches! We're not doing that yet. We gotta read our little thingamajiggy.
And this is the way I wanted things to be. Our future together starts now. I'll do everything to ensure you can live happily as an ordinary human. So keep believing in me and follow me. I'm not great at putting it into words, but I love you.
That's the perfect way to put it into words. Totally have no idea what I was gonna say. Okay, anyway. Oh, I'm assuming that he lost his job and, look at that. Look at just the hand coming out. Does this one not have a... It does, but am I... Oh, A is the next one. Okay, I'm not smart. Guys, it's been a while since I played this game. You know that. They didn't really say that, but I'm just assuming that's what we're supposed to think, is that he lost his job and whatnot. But whatever. But it's interesting because he's still a spirit. So he's just like a homeless spirit. I love this look. What are you doing? This one's cute too. They do a really good job with the light streaks and everything through it. That one doesn't have a secondary one. Oh, this one's precious. That's adorable. But he's never gonna age, so we're gonna be 80 and they're gonna be look at her hot 20-year-old boyfriend. Good for us. Good for Granny getting it. You know? Who knows? We might get hit by a bus before then. We don't know. No. But he's a sweetheart. I think he's one of the more popular ones, right? One of the more popular love interests? I think so. I can see why. Absolutely. And that's the one... Okay, so this is the one we're missing. But that's the one that we'll get in our other ending. But, look at this. How beautiful is it? You could have the kiss version, but I gotta be honest, this other version where they're kind of looking at each other is, beautiful, so we'll leave it here. But, yeah, I don't really have much to say. I love this fucking game. Okay, Minami was the only one I was like, nah. But, Koharu's great. He's great. Everything about him's great. It's great. You know what I mean? I don't, I know I had some bitchy things at the end, but that's just overall in games where they do this, the woman's always blaming herself. It's he made this damn decision, girl. Let him take agency for his choices. You know? Again, I'm feeling bad, but you didn't force him to make this choice. So, but it's the woman experience to always blame yourself for everything, because history has taught us it's all our fault somehow. I don't know, whatever. I don't know how everything's always our fucking fault. We have no agency over ourselves. I don't get it. We have all the power in the world. Everything is our fault, yet we have absolutely no power in the world because so it's not really logical, but whatever. But like we haven't all been in that boat before where we're like, it's all my fault. Wait a minute. It's really not though if I stop and take a step back. Not everything in the world is my goddamn fault. But like I just wish they wouldn't do that so much. They do it a lot, you know. I don't remember them doing it as much with her. You know, I mean, she's had those moments like, oh my God, this is all my fault. If I hadn't done this, that, or other thing. And it's like, simmer down. And then it usually goes on. But this one, it was very much like she's blaming herself. Oh my God, if he gets fired from his job, it's totally my fault. And it's like, simmer down. Like, I don't think that was necessary, you know? So, but that's just personal problems. Anyway, but overall, absolutely loved his route. Like everyone else, almost everyone else. Okay. Everyone asterisk except Minami. Okay. Minami's route again was fine. I just don't like Minami. Whatever. But we'll get our godly end and our bad end next time. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.